What's going on, Patriots fans? We've got Rams at New England this Sunday, and well, the Rams are coming off a loss and the Patriots are coming off a win, and I like our chances going here on Sunday. But it's going to be a tough matchup, man. If you watch Monday Night Football, do not take what happened with the Rams and Dolphins and think this is going to be a cakewalk. It absolutely is not. Sean McVay is still, in my opinion, one of the better head coaches that are still active in the NFL right now. But in order for Drake Maye to lead his team to victory, I do have 4 keys to victory that I want to break down here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and let's talk about Drake Maye, shall we? Because remember how I just said Sean McVay is one of the better head coaches in the NFL? Not to mention, Drake Maye is just a few months younger than Sean McVay, who was previously the youngest head coach in the league. So I want to talk about how Drake Maye doesn't need to get out-coached. This is going to be the hardest test that he has had going up against another coach so far in his first year as the Patriots head coach. So, I'm going to be honest, and you guys watch the game same way I do. There is no secret that the Patriots have been not really well prepared for some ball games. Even in the short week, going up against the Jets in week 3, going up against the Tennessee Titans and their backup quarterback and Mason Rudolph. There have been some games where I'm like, did they even practice this week? Are they even on the same page? Does anybody have their playbook? And I do want to point my fingers at Drake Maye, Alex Van Pelt, and DeMarcus Covington. That is just poor coaching. When your team comes out here and they lose to a team that they should have beat and you did not prepare them well enough, there's only one man to blame, and that's the head coach. And now when you look at a team like the Los Angeles Rams, who are very well coached, they are very well disciplined. Sean McVay is not afraid to think outside the box and change stuff on the fly, but I will admit, on Monday, they were ugly. That was a nasty game. I don't know if it was prime time. I don't know what was going on Monday against the Dolphins when they lost, but if the Rams play the way that they have been before that game, it could be lethal. This could be a blowout. I'm going to be honest. But there are ways to avoid that because the Rams are a little bit inconsistent right now. They lost to the Packers 24-19. That was a good game, but the Packers, they know how to bring down their better opponents. Then they won against the Raiders. Beautiful. You should. But only by 5? Okay. And then you beat the Vikings, which was a huge win going up against Sam Darnold and the elite Vikings offense right now. Then you beat the Seahawks. But I'm noticing 5, 10, 6. This is very much one possession, maybe 2 possession type of ball games. And then you lose to a horrible Miami Dolphins team in prime time. And now their confidence may be a little bit low heading into this short week. So number one, they're inconsistent, but they do put up a lot of points. I know you guys just saw right there, except for their 2 losses to the Dolphins and the Packers, 3 straight weeks, they're putting up 20-plus points. And we know the Patriots, who just came off a game where, they only scored 1 touchdown, that's not going to be able to fly. So I'm going to need Drake Maye to be on his A game because I expect the players to go out there and do their job the same way I expect the head coach. So 3 things that Drake Maye can do, and this sounds so freaking easy when it's on paper, and I get it. Number 1, don't overthink. That's it. I swear to God, so many times I'm watching Drake Maye on the sideline, and you can see the wheels visibly turning. It's football, man. A game that you have played. Don't overthink your decisions, and don't overthink a game time plan of, we want to give the ball to more younger guys. Let's say Kendrick Bourne. That was so stupid. Number 2, make fast adjustments. Sean McVay will change shit on the fly. It does not matter how many times you have prepared for the Rams in this last week. He is going to adjust if he notices something's not working. That's going to be a challenge for Mayo. Number 3, trust your players. You know what I saw last week? A football team. They looked like a football team. They were doing what they were supposed to. You got to trust your players to be able to make that tackle, to be able to make that throw, make that catch. So you got to keep the same consistent players in there and keep going back to what's working. Don't hit Pop Douglas and then not go back to him in the fourth quarter. So my question here for you guys is, what does Drake Maye need to do this week? What is something that he needs to do to prepare for the Rams? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to hop into my other 3 keys to victory here, but let me tell you real quick about our sponsor here on Patriots Today, and that's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America, and if you guys want to go ahead and test out your daily fantasy sports skills, well, then this is the app for you. Right now, it is available in over 30 different states, including Cali, Georgia, Texas, and Florida. And if you guys want to go on ahead and see how great you can be at testing your skills, well, then go on ahead and download PrizePicks. Let me tell you how to play. Number one, it's super easy. It's actually my favorite part of the day. All you have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats. That's it. 50-50. And you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Not to mention, you can pick minimum of 2 players, maximum of 6 players. And let me tell you a little secret. Every single Sunday, I do a $20 entry, and I always play 6 players. There's so many games going on. I always like to see different mix and match. So if you guys want to be like me or be different than me, you're more than welcome to. All you have to do is download the PrizePicks app, use promo code CLNS, and you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app, use promo code CLNS, and you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. This is going to sound a little bit weird because the offense isn't technically new, but it is a little bit. Why? Because Drake Maye took over. I found out here recently that Drake Maye actually ended up addressing the Patriots offense after a really shitty practice ahead of the Bears win. He took control of that team, and that's why I think it's a new offense. Because whether you like Alex Van Pelt or not, it's fine, because Drake Maye knows exactly what he's doing. I'm going to go back here to the offensive side of the football. They looked good in Week 9 and in Week 10. In the overtime loss to Titans, I still take it. I will really take that overtime loss. And in the Week 10 win over the Bears, the Patriots are really starting to find their footing in this offense. Whether it was with Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, just trust your receivers to be consistent. And when you have somebody like Drake Maye that ran this player-led meeting after a really crappy practice and said, I want to change something, this is what I need to see, that's how you know the Patriots can be dominant. But it will be a tough challenge because the Rams' defense was, if any, the only shining moment that they had on Monday night's game. And I know that's saying a lot because the Miami Dolphins still won. But so far this season, a red zone defense, they're at 51.6%, which means they stop a team's offense in the red zone 52% of the time. The pass defense, they allow 219 yards per game. That's about what Drake Maye will average. And then their run defense, 127.6 yards per game. It's been a while since the Patriots have been consistently over 100 yards on the ground. So they're going to be stuffed in the trenches, and it may be hard for the Patriots to find a way to get that first down. But let's talk about the defense versus the Dolphins on their most recent game and now playing in a short week. Their rushing yards. They held the Miami Dolphins to 67 rushing yards despite the Dolphins winning. Well, they also have, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, so that does help. But they had 3 sacks, and then they had 2 forced fumbles and an interception going up against Tua Tagovailoa in the Miami Dolphins offense. Let's be honest. The Dolphins are, if at all, 1 spot higher in all the rankings in terms of offensive production the same way the Patriots are. This is actually a good gauge. Miami and New England kind of have similar offenses right now before Tua came back from his injury. So it's going to be a tough task. So my question here for you guys is, we saw 9 players to be exact, step up on the defense last week and get a sack. Which defensive player needs to step... Oh, wait, excuse me. That is offensive. I talk too much about defense. Now I'm freaking out. Which offensive player needs to step up in Week 11? I'm going to go with Hunter Henry, but you guys let me know in the comment section down below. My God, you say defense, offense, defense, offense. Number 3, red zone defense. This is actually a strong suit here for the Patriots. And I know that the defense has struggled finding their identity in the last couple of weeks, but Week 10 was where they really started to shine. So I want to talk about red zone defense here because while the Rams are consistently putting up over 20 points per game, well, it's not that much when you really think about it. They're actually averaging a little less than 21 points per game, which is 20th in the NFL. So this is not a high-scoring team by any means when it comes to the league. And then their red zone offense, which was abysmal last Monday against the Dolphins, they only convert less than 50% of the time that they're in the red zone. That's ranked 30th. That's second to last in the NFL, which gives a really good chance for the red zone defense to force 3, 3-3 on the scoreboard in field goals. Because when you look at the Patriots' red zone defense, this has actually been pretty locked down. They're 13th in scoring defense. They allow 22 points a game. And the red zone defense, they do stop the team 56% of the time, which is 15th. That is in the upper half of the league. So I know while the defense has just been visibly struggling, when they're in that 20-yard line box, that 20-yard box, they're pretty freaking dominant. So I think if you can at least get them out of field goal range, they're not going to put up any points. It'll be hard for them to put up points. But if you keep them in field goal range, that's kind of where you want to have that happy medium. Because also the Rams on Monday night, the last 6 offensive possessions ended in field goals. They did not find the end zone. That's huge. That should be huge for the Patriots' defensive confidence going into this week, especially coming off a 9-sack ball game against the Chicago Bears. I think they could have a really good chance. The only thing is, to keep in mind here, the Rams allowed the 6th lowest pressure rate at 27% since their bye week in week 6. The last 4 weeks, they've looked really good. However, Matthew Stafford did just more recently get sacked multiple times on Monday night. So I think that there is a little bit of an Achilles heel to this offensive line that the Patriots defense keeps chipping away at. They can break through and have a similar game to last week. And last but not least, for love of God, protect our king. Protect Drake Maye. He is one of the only great things on offense that I have looked forward to every single week, and he is going to go up against a very intimidating 3-4 front with Los Angeles. Let's talk about that 3. Kobe Turner, Bobby Brown, and Braden Fisk. I'm looking at Turner here. He's tied with the team high 5 sacks. He pressures quarterbacks like none other. And this is a very, very strong 3-4 front going up against a pretty average offensive line, in my opinion, when you've got Ben Brown, you've got Cedi So, you've got Mike Jordan, and then Mike Nwenu on your inside. But then if you take it a line back, here's your 4. Byron Young is a quarterback's nightmare. And then they ended up stocking up this last year. Jared Verse is one of the top rookies this year, top NFL players. It happens to be a rookie when it comes to pressuring the quarterback, which means you are going to be blitzed like crazy. That is what I'm looking at. And then, of course, you come back to the offensive line, and I'm like, well, shit, that's going to be a struggle. For Darian Lowe, Mike Jordan, they've done a really good job on the left side. I'm not really necessarily worried as much about the blind side as I am in what's in front of Drake Maye. My goodness, Onwenu and Dimitri Jacobs, they let everything come through that comes their way. They're going to have to step up big time because you've got players coming at every single angle. To be able to protect Maye, I'm watching these 3 players, all right? Jared Verse, the linebacker, like I just mentioned, he has 45 quarterback pressures so far this year with a 20.4 quarterback pressure rate, which means he is going to be in the pocket all game long. Byron Young, 31 quarterback pressures, 5 sacks, tied with Kobe Turner here as a defensive end, but Turner is still very elite. 30 quarterback pressures, 34 stops. Do you know what that means? Good luck in the trenches. Drake Maye is going to have to get very mobile. He's going to have to get very creative. So will AVP and so will Gerard Mayo because this defense does not mess around. But it's not impossible. So, my last question for you guys here is predict Drake Maye's stat line for Week 11. What do you guys think he's going to have in passing yards, a touchdown, interceptions, and rushing yards as well? Go on ahead and comment that in the comment section down below. All right. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you for hanging out. All you guys have to do to be in the know is subscribe.